we're back. I hope you took time to do those 3 problems because this is 4.6 number 2 from this packet that you printed out. And it said that 2 cars leave San Francisco, California at the same time and both head east. The first car speed is 52, the second car speed is 62. When will the 2 cars be 50 miles apart? Now, I haven't done an example for this for you yet, so this one is a little bit of a brain stretcher is what I try to say, is what I call them, when you're putting use to the kind of toolbox stuff that I've given you. So question 2, it told us that we have 2 cars, and it told us that car 1 is 52 and car 2 is 62. And did he say anything about their times? They left at the same time, so that means their times are equal, and we have 52t, 62t. So if you got all that right on a test or quiz, well, if we had an in-class quiz, I'm not sure how we're going to handle our quizzes and tests yet, you would get some points just for filling that in. You would get points just for filling in the chart. So now the next thing is we got to find our equation. How are we going to find that out? It said that both cars leave at the same time and both travel east. What that means is they have to be in the same location. This is our garage or, you know, the town, whatever town that was, San Francisco. This is San Francisco right there. Those 2 stars are San Francisco. And they're going to both travel east. So they're both traveling this way here. Okay? Now, one of these cars is traveling faster, right? Now, if it's traveling faster, that means it's going to cover more distance, isn't it? After a certain amount of time, so that might be 1 hour. This might be 2 hours. I don't know, I'm just making things up here. That could be 3 hours. But this car is traveling and this car is traveling, but this one's faster. Car 2 is faster and this is slower. So this one has to cover more distance. This is grandma and this is the grandkid because the grandkid's going to drive faster. Sometimes. So we want to read this question. It says, when will they be 50 miles apart? Well, they're traveling in the same distance. So if they start out here, they're not apart at all. And then they might be a little bit apart, a little bit apart. After some time, though, this distance between here will be 50 miles. They'll be 50 miles ahead. You might stop and go, hey, Grandma, where are you? Go, oh, I'm way back here. Go, well, that's 50 miles back. So this distance between here is the 50 miles. That's where we would do. So I hope that y'all drew this picture. Be careful with how you draw it. A lot of times people want to say 50 miles between here, or they draw them facing each other. Remember, they started at the same point and went in the same direction. So your arrow should be going the same direction. So now we got to get our equation. Well, notice here that these 2 are equal. When are they equal? When car 1 plus 50 miles is equal to car 2. I don't know why I'm trying to change colors there. Car 2. I think I wanted this to be in blue as well. 50 miles. So you can see here, here's car 1's distance right there. This is car 1's distance plus 50 miles. It equals car 2. Now there are other ways to write it. Once you hit pause and see it, well, don't hit pause yet, listen to me. Make sure, try to see if you can find another way to write this. Hit pause and try that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, another way we could write this, we could say that car 2 minus 50 miles, because if we took this and we subtracted this off, would it not equal car 1? So that's another way we could write it. So we can write it that way, or we can write it this way. And is there another way we can write it? I'm not seeing it right now. I guess that's it. But if you have a question about how to write it, you know what to do now. Send me an email or get on that office hours with Zoom and we'll talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one because I just like that one better. And we're going to go ahead and solve it. And what's the distance for car 1? That is 52t plus 50 miles equals 62t. Now I can subtract 52t from both sides. And we have 50 equals 10t. Divide by 10 and, oh, I almost forgot to divide by 10. We have 5 equals t. So what was the question that he asked for? It said, When will the cars be 50 miles apart? In 5 hours, the cars will be 50 miles apart. Okay? Yes, you do need to write it down. My rule of thumb is if it's a word problem, you need to give it back to me in words or a word sentence. Don't just say T equals 5, because I don't know what T is. Is that tomatoes? Do we have 5 tomatoes? I don't know. So you want to make sure that you write it down. So there we go. So I'm going to pause this and we're going to go to question number 3. Be back in a minute.